my name is Connie and welcome to this week's Warrior Wednesday webinar. I'm an admissions counselor here at the Office of Admissions at Manoa, and for these first 6 webinars that we have starting in April, all of these webinars are themed toward prepping our freshmen to register for classes. With that, I will have my special guests introduce themselves. Not shown here is Derek, and he's actually the director of one of the colleges that is represented here. So welcome, Derek. And if you see any questions being answered by someone named Derek, that is the director of the College of Arts and Humanities and Languages, Linguistics, and Literature. So you can trust his answer, and he's there to help us. So thank you so much, Derek, for giving your time for this. Leilani, you're next to me on the screen, so you can introduce yourself first.
Great. Aloha, everyone. My name is Leilani Harjati, and I'm an academic advisor at the Manoa Advising Center for Exploratory Students.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Higa. I am one of the academic advisors for the College of Social Sciences.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jolene Wineno. I'm an academic advisor at the College of Education.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kay, and I'm a college advisor in the Advising Center for the Colleges of Arts and Humanities and Languages, Linguistics, and Literature.
Yes, so welcome to the Warrior Wednesday webinar, and I'll have our first guest go ahead and start their presentation.
The advising guide found at this URL is a really great resource to help students navigate various majors. So on the advising guide, the 100 majors are actually listed by major categories. So such as arts or health sciences or languages. And really when you click on the advising guide and you click on a major category, that's where you can learn more about the majors that fall under that category, but also connect with advisors that support those majors. Today with us, we have advisors specifically from representing all of these majors listed here. So arts and humanities and languages, linguistics and literature, social sciences and education. So again, today with our group, our team of advisors, these are the majors that we're going to be covering today. And these are the advising offices that support these majors. In the advising guide, you may see the various categories that there are related majors. So for example, in arts, environmental design, in humanities and social sciences, there may be public health or Hawaiian studies. In education, earth science education. So as you're exploring and looking at different majors, if you find any of these related majors, we don't have advisors specifically speaking upon these majors today, but we do again have the advising guide that you can connect with, learn more about the majors, and then connect with the advisors that support these related majors. To start us off, we have Jolene, who will be giving us an overview about the College of Education and education majors. Thank you, Jolene.
Hi, everyone. So today I'll be speaking about the elementary education and secondary education majors. So both of these majors lead to teacher licensure in the state of Hawaii. With elementary education, you would be being licensed to teach all of the elementary education subject areas: reading, writing, science, social studies, math. Whereas with secondary education, you would be choosing one subject area to be licensed in. So I'm going to start by speaking with you about the elementary education major. So we have 5 elementary education program options that you can choose from. Our first option is our single license option that results in the teaching license to teach kindergarten through 6th grade. The other 4 options are dual license options, which means that they result in 2 teaching licenses in the same amount of time that it would take you to do 1 teaching license. It's just you're taking more classes, so it's a heavier course load. So the second option results in a license to teach kindergarten through 6th grade, and also an early childhood license to teach preschool to 3rd grade. This option leads to a kindergarten through 6th grade licensure, and also a multilingual learning license, which allows you to teach English to speakers of other languages. You do not need to know another language to know a second language to choose this option. And then this fourth option is elementary education K through 6, and then a K through 6 special education license. And then finally, this last option is a preschool to 3rd grade early childhood license and a preschool to 3rd grade special education license. The elementary education major is split into 2 parts. So the first part we call the pre-licensure track, and that takes about 2 years. And then the second part is called the licensure track, and that takes 2 years. So in the pre-licensure track, this is when you would narrow down those 5 choices and decide upon one that you want to pursue. And then you would complete your general education courses and your licensure track prerequisite courses. And we can go over what these prerequisite courses and gen ed courses are with you during our advising appointment. They're also listed on the first page of your program sheet. And then the second half of your major would be called the licensure track. And this starts in the fall, and students must apply to this in the prior spring semester. The reason why students need to apply to it is because we, in this licensure track, you are going out into the schools, you're observing, and you're student teaching. So we just need this screening process to make sure we're sending out qualified teacher candidates into the schools. This program is cohorted, which means that students are taking the same classes in the licensure track as 20-something other elementary eds majors, and they really enjoy this part of the program because since they're taking the same exact classes with the same people, they become really close. So they have a really good support network within their cohort. And then they do end the program with 1 semester of full-time student teaching. This would be 5 days a week, the same hours as a real teacher, with the support and the guidance of a mentor teacher in the classroom with them. So if you are an incoming student and you are coming into the pre-licensure track, just know that you're going to be admitted as a general elementary education major. It's not until you apply for the licensure track that you officially commit to one of those 5 elementary ed program options. All right. So now moving on to secondary education. Like I said, secondary education is a little different in that you're choosing one subject area to be licensed in. And you can choose math. We have science. Within science, we have a broad range of categories, like general science would be the broadest, but we also have chemistry, biology, physics, physical science, earth and space science. We have social studies, we have English, we have world languages, and again, within world languages, there's a bunch of other languages, so you would choose one language, and then music. So just like the elementary ed program, the secondary ed major is split into 2 parts. The pre-licensure track takes about 2.5 years, and then the licensure track takes 1.5 years. So in the pre-licensure track, students should decide early on which of those subject areas they want to focus on. And then they would spend that time completing their general education courses and any required academic courses within the subject area. So for example, if you are a secondary ed math major, you would be taking the same similar math courses to what somebody who's majoring in math would take. So you would be taking advanced college level math courses. And then the licensure track starts in the spring semester. Students apply to it in the prior fall semester. There are a whole bunch of admissions requirements to get into the licensure track. So just know that we'll go over this with you in our advising appointments, and we will work with you to make sure that you meet those, that you're on track to apply. So this program is cohorted as well, and then there is full-time student teaching in the last semester. So it's really in this licensure track that you are taking a lot of courses that focus on the principles and the methods of instruction. And then you're also going out into the schools, observing, and then student teaching. And then one other thing I want to mention about both elementary and secondary majors is that there is no second language requirement. So you do not need to take a second language unless you are a secondary ed world language major. In that case, you would take whatever language that is. All right, and then finally, we welcome you to schedule an advising appointment with us. We are the Office of Student Academic Services in the College of Education, and you can schedule an appointment by this link, through this link. That is it. And now I'm going to turn it over. Oh, sorry. Kay, are you next? Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Kay, and I'm a college advisor in the Advising Center for the Colleges of Arts and Humanities and Languages, Linguistics, and Literature. Derek, who's joining us to answer questions on Q&A, is also from the same office, the Advising Center. So thanks, everyone, for being here with us today. Next slide, please. The college advisors in the Advising Center serve all majors in the Colleges of Arts and Humanities and Languages, Linguistics, and Literature. I'll be abbreviating it to AH and LLL for the rest of the slides. Next slide, please. Initial advising is required for all AH and LLL incoming students, so that includes freshmen and new transfer students. Initial advising is a 1-hour appointment that introduces you to important information, including advising, resources and opportunities on campus, and your degree requirements. Plus, we help you to set up your first semester's schedule. We also offer other types of appointments, including registration and planning appointments. For information on how to make an appointment with the Advising Center, visit our website at manoa.hawaii.edu/advising and click on the appointments icon. To complete initial advising, please specify initial advising as the appointment type. In addition to professional advisors, we have welcome desk staff who can help you with making an appointment and answering general questions. And we also have Manoa peer advisors who are trained undergraduate students that can provide initial advising and planning appointments. Currently, we're offering Zoom and phone appointments, but we'll be continually updating our website with information on appointment availability and office hours. So please be sure to check that out. Next slide, please. The colleges of AH and LLL have dual advising, which means you'll be meeting with both major and college advisors. The college advisors are in the Advising Center in Sinclair 301 and advise on general education and all non-major requirements. Your major advisor is in your major department and advises on major requirements and planning. So, as an example, if you're an art major, you would be seeing a college advisor and an advisor in the art department. We also have mandatory advising, which means you're required to see your major advisor at least once a semester and your college advisor at least once a year. Next slide, please. For more details about dual advising, visit the Advising Center's website and click on the Advising Partnership under the Get to Know Us tab. Next slide, please. As a tip, be sure to look at your program sheet. The website for program sheets is there on the slide. On the bottom of page 2 of the program sheet, you'll find contact information for your major advisor. It's also helpful because if you have questions about requirements on page 1 of the program sheet, they're most likely for a college advisor. And if you have questions about page 2, they're more likely for a major advisor. The program sheet may also provide some hints for double dipping requirements. As an example, if you're a Japanese major, EALL 271 counts toward the DL requirement, and Japanese 350 counts toward the DH requirement. And as a reminder, important information gets sent to your hawaii.edu email, so please be sure to check your hawaii.edu email regularly. Next slide, please. Okay, so the next 2 slides are for students who are in the colleges of AH and LLL and social sciences. I'll be covering information on the first slide for HSL and Jason from the College of Social Sciences will be covering the second slide for previous credits and the FW requirements. So again, both slides are for AH, LLL, and social sciences. Next slide, please. Students in our colleges are required to fulfill the Hawaiian or second language HSL requirement through the 202 level or equivalent. For students with no prior Hawaiian or second language experience, you will enroll in the first semester 101 or equivalent level. However, if you have previous experience with a language that is taught at Manoa, you should take a language placement exam. You can find information about placement exams at the website listed on the slide. The placement exams information on that web page includes Chinese, Japanese, Korean, French, German, Spanish, Hawaiian language, Filipino, Ilocano, and additional Indo-Pacific languages. However, there are also placement exam options for languages taught at Manoa that may not be included on that page, such as Russian, Portuguese, Latin, Greek, and American Sign Language. If you're interested in these placement exams, please let us know in the Q&A window and we'll get that information to you. Finally, if you have background in a language that is not taught at UH, talk to your college advisor to see what options might be available to you. And now I'll turn it over to Jason to cover the next slide. Thanks.
Thanks, Kay. So this next requirement is the FW requirement, or written communication requirement. For students that have taken AP, IB, or CLEP exams, those can be transferred in as credit. So you won't have any grade, it won't affect your GPA or anything like that, but it will fulfill the FW requirement. The second bullet, you can see the different AP scores that are correlated with what classes you would get for them. As far as FW placement, if you are a non-native speaker of English, you do have to take the ELI placement exam, and you would be trying to get into ESL 100 to fulfill that FW requirement. If you are a transfer student and you haven't transferred in any FW credit, you would be placed into the English 190 class. As far as transfer students, you can transfer in English 100. English 200 also counts. So just to clarify on that, if you are starting at Manoa, English 200 is not an option for the FW. This is only for transfer students transferring it in. And then ESL 100 for non-native speakers as well. And for students that take it here, English 100A is the honors class, which will also fulfill the FW, as well as American Studies 111. And you can see the catalog link below that. Just one more thing, if you are a freshman that hasn't taken English 100, you do need to take English 100 within your first year at UH Manoa. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so in the College of Social Sciences, at least, there's a BA and a BS in psychology. So this slide is just basically showing the difference between the two majors. As you can see on the left-hand side, the Bachelor of Arts, very basic math, bio, physical science, and lab classes. Whereas if you're doing the Bachelor of Science, you will have to do calculus 1 and 2, chemistry 1 and 2, physics 1 and 2, and bio 1, and potentially bio 2 or psych 230. Which brings me to my next slide. If you are a BS major, you will have to take the placement exams. Basically, you want to place into the 215 or 241 range. Those will be the classes that count towards your degree requirements. Next slide, please. You will also have to take the chemistry placement exam. Chemistry is also the class that you need to take Bio 171. So this one is another important placement exam that you can take. Chemistry specifically is online, and you can take that one already if you want to. Next slide, please. Okay, so just going into social sciences. Next slide. These are the majors that the College of Social Sciences sees. So anthropology, communication, economics, ethnic studies, geography, journalism, political science, psychology, sociology, and women's studies. Just for clarification on economics, we do have a quantitative economics, so you would have to take the math placement to get into Calc 1 and then also take Calc 2. And then we've already talked about the BA and BS in psychology. Next slide. Okay, so just for clarification, I know there's a lot of confusion with this. For psychology, everybody starts as a pre-psychology major. Even if you want to do the BS, you're always going to start in BA pre-psychology. So until you finish the Psych 100, the Psych 212, 225, and you have the 2.5 GPA within psychology, you'll be in the pre-psychology major. But once you complete those, you can change it between the BA or the BS in psychology. My recommendation is to meet with the advisor just to go over the science portion of it if you are a BS student. For communications, students who do not have the COM 201 with a B or better and a 2.5 cumulative GPA, you will all start in EXSS, which is through the Manoa Advising Center. So with Leilani. So just for clarification on that, we do help you as far as planning courses and everything. But as far as official signatures or anything like that, that would go through the Manoa Advising Center. Next slide. And if you want to contact the College of Social Sciences, our advising office is known as Access Advising. For right now, during this pandemic, we prefer the email questions to the CSS ADVCL. But if you want to book an appointment, you can go to Balance to book an advance appointment. However, next week, because we're expecting a high volume of appointments, you can visit our virtual kiosk and do a drop-in appointment during that time. And I will pass it over to Leilani.
If you can't tell, I am a huge fan of the Advising Guide website. So I just wanted to take a moment to walk you through what this amazing website, what the information it provides. The Advising Guide, again, it helps kind of, in a way, kind of bring together related majors to help you explore. So for example, on the Advising Guide website, if I wanted to learn more about some of the arts majors, I'll click to show you what it says. So the Advising Guide, and it's like, oh, wow, there are a variety of majors pertaining to art. Wait, let me learn more about environmental design. And then it will pull up on the Advising Guide, it will pull up the information for the environmental design major, website, phone, contact information. There's also information on how to schedule an appointment with an advisor, how advising works, and information about mandatory advising. So you will find similar information for all of the 100 majors at Manoa. So again, this is the Advising Guide website. If rather than by major categories, you're like, I know what I want to major in, you can also explore majors A through Z, if that is easier for you to navigate. So again, all the majors listed in one place. Another resource I wanted to share with you is the Summer Advising online workshop. And really, this is a free online workshop available to all incoming students. There are modules, like very brief videos to walk you through, like my UH, placement exams. I saw some questions in the queue about placement exams, so there'll be information about if your major does require placement exams. Also, if you're a transfer student, how to navigate the transfer transcript. And then finally, how to navigate STAR GPS and how to connect with your academic advisors. I'm going to sneak in one more resource that I absolutely love that we've hinted at throughout today with the various presenters. But if you want specific, wow, what do I need? The degree requirements, the major requirements for each of the majors, please visit our program sheets website. Again, information hyperlinked to learn specifically about the college, the major, the department on this side. When you see program sheet, when you click on it, you'll literally see the degree and major requirements. Wonderful. And if you're like, what would I be taking each semester? That is what the plan template is all about.
So thank you so much, everyone, for taking time to watch this video, and thank you so much for our special guest today for presenting. We wouldn't be able to do this webinar without you, so thank you so much for your time and your information. Very, very useful and valuable, especially for admissions counselor. Whenever we get emails to our email account or to ourselves, everyone's asking around this time, what to register for, what to register for, and admissions counselors are not trained to give academic advising, so we always just say, just talk to your advisor. So I'm really happy that we are able to make this connection and connect you guys with your advisors. So thank you so much again for all of your time, for staying to the end. Thank you so much for guests, and thank you, Derek, for answering the questions for us. So feel free to leave the webinar if you don't have any questions. If you do have questions, you can stay on, but if you don't, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.